What's up, guys? We are back with another Four Horsemen review, but this one is a little bit different because it is, but it isn't. It's one of those that is, but isn't a Mythic Legions review. We're taking a look at the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive Stavros the Unwavering. So this guy is in partnership with the Horsemen and BBTS to celebrate their 25th anniversary and all the stuff that they've done over the past few months to celebrate that. And this guy is in tribute to Big Bad Toy Store, so he's a black and red dragon. He's essentially an Articulation repaint from Mythic Legions, but he's not Mythic Legions. It's one of those kind of things. Now, this guy also comes in unique packaging because, again, he's not Mythic Legions. So it's not branded in any of that way. It's just branded with Horseman logos and stuff about Big Bad Toy Store. So we've got Stavros there in the big window. You can see your dragon. There's a whole bunch of like fire that wraps around the box. You've got his name down there in a very metal-looking format and font. And then one spine gives you a product shot along with a write-up of the Big Bad Four Horsemen sort of partnership over the years. And then the back of the box gives us a giant product shot of our big dragon dude. So yeah, let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here we go, out of the package, our Big Bad Toy Store exclusive Stavros the Unwavering. And you know, again, this is a Four Horsemen figure and it's done for Big Bad's 25th anniversary, but it's not technically a Mythic Legions figure. Like, he's not going to really fit into the lore. He's not a character. He's not going to appear in any of the books or anything like that. But he's obviously a Mythic Legions figure. He's using an entire reuse of a figure, essentially, in the Articulation figure or the Scourge figure or even the Kragnar figure at this point. So if you've gotten one of those, you really know what to expect here. But, I mean, it's a big black dragon with red armor. It works, and I've said before I would take this body pretty much in any colorway. So here we go. So let's see what he can do. See how he moves around for, we'll say, the uninitiated. Now this is a ogre scale figure, so it is a larger figure. It's still essentially, you know, the same as kind of like a 1.0 figure for the most part, with a little bit of a difference here and there. We've got a head that can look up. He can look down. Really, really good. Really great. You've got tilt side to side. He has a really small ball joint here, and it allows him some pretty great range. So you've got all that swivel, of course. He has an opening jaw, and then we've got arms that go out. Of course, the pauldrons are going to get in the way, but they still go pretty far. Swivel. We've got our single jointed, full 90 degrees. So this is one of the more recent ogre scale bodies, so he has a little bit better range than most. Got swivel there. The gauntlets are an overlay, so they don't actually add to articulation. We've got swivel and hinge at the wrist. Now the torso, you can't see it here, but the torso has a diaphragm cut. So he does have pretty good range. He'll go forward and backward and tilt side to side. You've got a swivel point up there, and then you've also got a swivel point at the waist. It's just, well, it's hidden because he's got his jammies on. The legs on this guy are going to go out about that far. He's squeaky. They kick forward really far, backwards a little bit. You got your thigh twist up there. Single jointed. This is still pretty limited on this guy. Swiveling knee. And then you've got rocker, hinge, rotation, the whole 9 yards when it comes to the ankles. So he is, I mean, he's exactly the same as Scourge. He's exactly the same as Kragnar or Articulation, whichever one you want to compare him to. But that is to say, this is one of the more articulated ogres. There's good range in those elbows. The knees are still a little bit limited, but the diaphragm cut, even when it's covered by soft goods, still works to give this guy a lot more range than average. You know, all that said, though, of course, my main interest for this figure was always going to be the visuals, and there's a number of reasons why. I mean, it's obviously my main focus for the line is just to see what they can do in terms of sculpt and paint and new ideas. But this is a repaint with a little bit extra, and I really, really, really like the Articulation figure. One of my favorite figures in recent memory for Legions, full stop. If it wasn't for the Ninian Infantry, he'd probably be my favorite for last year, but I really love Articulation, and by extension, I like Scourge. It's just the blue color on him that absolutely does it for me. And this guy is doing the same thing, but in kind of a different way. It's more in line with the combo of colors here. And the fact that we've got this very deep and very matte almost finish on the black for the skin, for the scales. But then the armor has this, it's very much like the Cosmic Legion's Red Jet, the Tusk Pilot, this very candy-coated red with like a bunch of grit and grime in it. So his armor is very much contrasting his actual skin tone. You've got this very flat look, with this very metallic, pearlescent, glossy sheen on it. And I think it works really well. This color combo I'm very happy with, and I've been really looking forward to this figure for quite some time, but I'm so much more happy with how he looks in person than the promo shots led me to believe. So I'm really, really over the moon, specifically with the armor. I think it looks just terrific. That finish is amazing and really does a lot to make him seem maybe a little bit more important in some ways. And, you know, obviously there's a little bit of a history behind this particular figure and why he exists. So I kind of like that idea too. And then we've got, of course, our soft goods. And this is very different compared to a lot of stuff we've gotten in this line, because not only is this, you know, just a large piece, because it's on this giant figure, it's one piece. This is all one thing. It's a full-on tabard piece. What I thought is that it was going to be a skirt and a shirt, and it's definitely not. This is a full tabard. The belt cinches around it, and then it's got Velcro on the back, so when you want to take it off, if you want a naked dragon man, and you can do that, you've got the ease of being able to take it off that way, which I thought was really cool. And just in particular, something a little bit different compared to what we typically have seen lately when it comes to soft goods. As we get so much more soft goods in this line, we keep getting different styles. And then, of course, it's worth mentioning the design on there, I believe, is supposed to be BBTS in this sort of runic patterning, which I think works pretty well. It stands out as something really different compared to a lot of stuff we see in Legions, but again, he's not a Legions figure, so they could do something a little bit different like that. And then he does have a phenomenal head sculpt up here. I really like this head to begin with, so I'm quite biased going into this, but I will say what I didn't realize was how much other paint was around the eyes here. So there's these like orange red eyes, and you've got this very metallic blue and green around there. And I don't think I ever really picked up on that looking at the photos in the listings. So that was kind of a cool surprise to see that little bit of extra paint on there and just kind of make the eye area pop and make him look a little bit different. I really, again, love this head, and I love specifically the jaw. It looks really good whether it's open or shut, and it very much cinches closed very, very well, so that it looks like, you know, maybe it was supposed to be like this, but it also looks just fine when it's open. It looks like it was also supposed to be like this, and it seems to be engineered in a way that you don't really see all of the internals in there, so to speak. You just see an open mouth. So I think it looks really great. I'm very happy with this figure from top to bottom. He's big, he's imposing, but the paint is really well done. The sculpt is great as usual. Soft goods work really well. And again, I can't get over the armor on this. I'm really curious to see how this might work on some other ogre scale figures. But for now, I think this color combo really works well to sell this guy specifically. Now, as far as accessories goes, this guy comes with a little bit more than your standard ogre scale figure. The Dragosier figures typically have, just because of they've got these newer parts libraries. So that extends mostly to the fact that he comes with an extra set of hands. So you get the sort of splayed finger style posing hands. You get a set of those in conjunction with the gripping hands. And then, like the other figures so far, you know, he's got pauldrons. If you don't want to use them, you can pop those little sockets out and you can replace them with these that don't have the holes in them. So if you want a clean look, just on the back of the figure, you've got the option. You've got those two pieces. And then he also includes a couple of weapons as well. So this is, of course, a Rakagor's sword. So we've seen this before, but it's in an entirely different colorway. And I think it looks really cool like this, with this very deep gunmetal color for the blade with this gold inlay. I think that looks really great. And then we've got a golden dragon with red wings, of course, to match his color scheme. So everything's very much themed to him. But he also gets one of the very typical ogre-style maces. It's only a short one, though. We don't get the extra long piece, which, you know, if you're like me and you have some of these, you probably don't need those anyway. But I like the idea of him having this very short, you know, bladed club mace kind of weapon. And it also does have his color scheme. So you get that inlay red with some of the gold. What's interesting about this is that these colors are actually a little bit more muted than everything else. The red and the gold are both a little bit deeper. But otherwise, he doesn't come with a lot of stuff, obviously, but I think it's all very much useful here. I love this sword, and we don't have a lot of it yet, right? So I'm happy to get it in another colorway. And then just being able to have some extra hands on this figure alone compared to a lot of the other ogres is always a win for me. So yeah, overall, I'm really happy with this guy. I'm not exactly surprised by that. I love the Arakagor figure, and this is more of the same, just in a different way. I've pretty much said before, I want the dragon body, that dragon man, in every damn color they're going to give us. We've already got a blue, we've got a green, we're going to be able to make an orange with that new head pack that's coming, and now we've got a black one. I think this guy's a great addition. It's a cool way to give, Big Bad Toy Store their due for their 25th anniversary and give them a unique and exciting exclusive that, whether it's Mythic Legions or not, is obviously going to be integrated into your Legions line. I love this candy coating on the armor. The soft goods are really well done. I do like what they did with the BBTS logo to turn it into some sort of runic look. And then at the end of the day, it's a giant black dragon man with a humongous sword and mace. It's really hard to go wrong here, and we're already built upon a really solid figure. So that's going to do it for this look at the totally not Mythic Legions 4 Horsemen Big Bad exclusive Stavros the Unwavering. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.